All right, here we go, here we go. How is it going, loves? It's Alyse here, and today I am going to be sharing with you my intentions for 2020. Excited about this video. I know it's a little bit late to the game. Typically this would be something that I upload like on January 1st or something like that, but hey, I'm doing it. And the fun part about this video is I'm going to try to make it a one-take video. What I mean by this is I'm gonna try to just cruise through this video and not edit anything out. I just haven't done a video like this in a while, so I thought it would be a good time to do that. And I have a little page of notes beside me just because I have a few things I really want to touch on and make sure I don't forget. But yeah, I figured this would just be like, we're chilling, hanging out, I'm catching you up on how last year went for me, what things I'm leaving behind in 2019, what I'm stepping into in 2020. And I kind of just want to start this video out, one, by saying, hi, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you tuning into my videos, period, and just glad that you're here for this one. So yeah, what I want to dive into is just kind of thinking and talking about how normal it is in the day and age that we live in, the society that we live in, and social media and all that jazz, to really how easy it is to get caught up in other people's desires and wishes for us, like what we're expected to do, or maybe what our parents or our friends, our peers, or coworkers like think that we should be doing, or what they want for us, or what they see our potential is, or yeah, just what they think we should be doing. It's really easy to get caught up in that, especially on social media if we're scrolling and looking at other people's lives and looking at, like, I don't know, one example that comes to mind is like what's it called? The like gender reveal parties and stuff. I think they're cute, I think they're creative, but I remember, okay, here we go, we're going into the story time. I remember I was getting my car serviced a couple months ago, and I was in one of those little like vehicles where they shuttle you somewhere, and anyway, I'm not the best storyteller. And there's this woman sitting next to me, and she was just telling me how her daughter, she was maybe in her mid-60s or something, she was telling me about how her daughter was getting ready to share this gender reveal party, and how it wasn't really something she actually wanted to do, but she felt like she had to do it. So that's just an example. Again, not speaking down to that, I think it's cute, but there's just a lot out there in the world that kind of like can cloud our vision on what we actually want for ourselves, especially after the holidays, around Christmas time, Thanksgiving, and all of that. We're usually spending a little bit more time with family and friends and relatives and everything, and we're kind of immersed in this environment around people who really care for us and want what they think is best for us, but they might not know what we feel is best for us. And so in spending day after day around family who are just whatever, chatting, sharing what they think is best for you, it can be kind of easy to just lose touch with what you want for yourself. Hopefully I'm not being too redundant here. But yeah, basically, I feel that the weeks after the holidays, like the weeks that we're in right now, the first few weeks of January, are a really good opportunity for us to reconnect to what we want for ourselves and what feels true for us, what our inner calling is, and to just totally refocus, shift our focus onto that. So that's where the whole goal setting, intention setting comes into play. For me, I like to not only just dive into what I want to move into and step into and achieve and accomplish and all that goodness, both internally and externally for the new year. That was a run-on sentence. These are the things that you don't see when I clip it all out. But I like to actually review the year before and ask myself, what are the lessons I learned, which I feel like I kind of share that in videos as I go throughout my life, so I won't recap on all of that, but well, I can if you want me to in a future video, but what I have planned here is to kind of just get clear on the main things that I want to leave behind in 2019, whether they are beliefs or ways of acting and being and behaving, whatever, that I'm just like, see you later, I want you to have nothing to do with my life in 2020. So I'm gonna share those with you, and then we'll dive into what I'm stepping into. Okay, so the first thing that I declare that I'm leaving behind in 2019, I just got a little nervous, is this freaking outdated story that I've been carrying with me for so long, which is that I am a burden. And when I share my wants or needs or even just talk, is that I am a burden. And yeah, I don't know, as the years have passed, I guess I've like really let that take me over. And when I'm in a group setting, I don't share as much about myself or what I'm going through as much as other people do, and as much as I ask other people. Like, I'm so curious, I love learning about other people, but I don't give myself that same permission to talk and share, whether it's a struggle or an exciting thing. Don't have it anymore because I'm leaving it behind. Just this feeling that I'm a burden, that I'm too much, that I don't really deserve to speak up. And along with that bundle of joy, that's sarcastic, I want to leave behind suppressing certain emotions that I, over the course of my life, somehow deemed as negative emotions. This year, or 2019 for me, was a huge year for realizing that emotions are emotions, and I kind of deemed the emotions of anger and sadness as like bad emotions, and because of that, I didn't really let them like come to the surface. I would suppress them a lot and kind of carry on like everything's good, maintain composure, but not necessarily fully process them. So 2019, the second half of the year at least, was such a big learning experience for me to allow myself to feel these things, allow myself to be frustrated, allow myself to feel sad, and kind of like feel it and move through it and give myself permission. I think that in itself was so massive. And yeah, so that whole bundle of junk is what I'm leaving behind in 2019. Another thing I'm leaving behind are self-sabotaging habits, or neglecting certain habits that I know damn well help me feel aligned and connected and good and empowered and all of that. So self-sabotaging habits might be like, I don't know, staying up late, spending time with certain people that just don't really fill me up, or I don't feel there's just like a positive relationship there. I don't know. I guess I didn't really gain clarity on all of the self-sabotaging habits that I'd like to release. I think that honestly for me, it's more of neglecting certain things that I know do add value. So I have a lot of clarity on that. Like, I've been staying up way later and sleeping in way later than what I know like feels really, really good for me. And I know it's just a little thing, but along with that comes feeling like I'm less productive, I'm maybe more foggy in the brain, not as clear, maybe I'm not tapping into my creativity during the hours in the day that it's most clear for me, and then it feels like more forced and more of a struggle later in the day when that's not like my zone of creativity time. I'm personally really creative and like love to do and be up in the morning, and I've neglected that a lot this past year. And I understand why. I was going through a lot and like really just giving myself permission to like be a blob in certain ways and be more, I don't know, nurture myself and like just like go with the flow. So I'm not being hard on myself, but that's one of the things I want to leave in the past, is like neglecting habits that I know make me feel good. So that was just one example. Another one is like drinking water. Still 5 years later, I know you guys who have been here for a while, you know I've struggled to drink water, and I go through seasons where it's easier. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay. This is a hard one to talk about, but we're gonna do it. One take wonder, one cut video. I want to leave behind the fear and the feeling and the belief that this community here, our community, my community that we've cultivated, that you don't vibe with me anymore, and that, what else did I write? That you don't understand my real intentions. So obviously there's been a lot that's gone on social media for me this year. You guys know the beginning of 2019, I shared a video that I shifted my diet and that I was no longer vegan. That stirred up a whole created a ruckus. And then I shared this video this past fall where I tried out a carnivore diet for 30 days, just wanted to try something. Anyway, I'm not gonna go into it all. But with all of that, like, there was a stirring of the pot. And I think when it comes down to it on social media, usually the people who are the loudest are the people who are the most upset and angry. And because of that, I have kind of taken on this belief and this feeling that you guys don't really vibe with me anymore. And I know Like, I know in my core it's a smaller percentage, and I know that so many of you have been here for so long and are just like excited to see the videos and see where life takes me and what I'm learning about, what I'm going through and all of that. So I really want to leave that behind in 2019. Also, along with that, if you're here and you do enjoy these videos, I would love for, in this community, I would love to create a container where love is louder. And what that means is showing up and sharing love, sharing excitement, sharing your takeaways from the videos that I share, and sharing what's going on in your life. Whether it is something that you're going through, you want support with, like, let's create this freaking beautiful container in the comment section and just share love, make love louder. Anyway, that was a little tangent. Along with that, the last thing that I want to share with you that I'm leaving behind in 2019 is the desire to, what did I write? The desire to be validated by others. This isn't a massive extreme in my life, but when I was writing the fear that this community doesn't vibe with me anymore, I realized, like, hey, I have to show up and vibe with myself and let that be enough. And so although it's not a massive thing, I think it's a big enough thing for me to focus on leaving behind, or stop focusing altogether on, and double down on believing in myself and just honestly sinking into, I know who I am, I know what my intentions are, I know what I'm here to do, I know what I'm excited to share and learn about and experience and all of that. So just doubling down on that and leaving behind the need to know that really, I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yeah, seriously, these are the things that I just cut them out, but we're gonna leave them in. Okay, I'm gonna cruise through what I'm stepping into in 2020, which I'm so excited about. Okay, so a lot of the things that I'm stepping into are kind of directly related to things that I'm leaving behind. So one of the things I was leaving behind was the story that I'm a burden, not speaking up, all of that. So what I'm stepping into is giving myself permission to speak up and to overcome the outdated pattern that my wants and needs don't matter. And what that looks like for me, here's something that I really try and do, is like get clear on what that actually looks like. So not just having a big, vague intention of like, I want to speak up, but like, what does that actually look like? For me, that looks like in a friendship or a relationship with anybody. If something comes up for me where I'm uncomfortable or I feel like certain wants or needs are not being met, I am going to vocalize them, and I'm not going to let weeks and months and years go by before doing so. I'm going to tune in and give myself permission to speak up and give myself permission to get my wants and needs met instead of just pushing it down and focusing on others. Give me a little hand raise in the comment section if that is a pattern of yours as well, not focusing on yourself as much as you're focusing on others. So that's what I'm stepping into, is letting myself speak up, getting my wants and needs met, because everyone has wants and needs and we deserve to have them met. Okay, next thing that I'm stepping into is getting back into my zone of genius, like within my business. I am sure that over the past few years, you guys have kind of seen this change where I've been a little bit less present on social media, within reason. Again, I've had a couple challenging years with all the mold stuff in Hawaii, a really not so healthy relationship, and then just everything that I've gone through this year with remembering past childhood trauma and just going through that whole ringer with the whole vegan situation. So I lost my train of thought. Getting back into my zone of genius. The first few years that I started my business and got onto YouTube and started sharing on social media, I feel like I created so freely. Like everything felt so light and natural and in the flow, and I just felt creative and excited, and I didn't have this lens over me of like, what are people gonna think? And over the past few years, with a lot of polarizing things that I've dove into, that lens has become denser and denser and denser, and I want to like pull that away out of front of me. And yeah, just start sharing more. So what that looks like, again, what that shows up like in my life is more videos. I want to start hosting way more meetups. I've been in California for like 8 months now, and I haven't had a meetup. And yeah, I want to show up more like in the physical world outside of videos, although I'm going to start trying to do 2 videos a week starting next month. So yeah, more meetups and more live events. More live events. I'm going to host a large live, that sounded weird, a big live event in the end of the summer or in the fall. And I want it to be here in California. Would love to see freaking 500 of you beautiful humans in one place at the same time with workshops and seminars and like so much goodness. I'm not gonna dive into that whole thing now, but yeah, being out and like meeting you guys. And here in California, I want to start having monthly intention circles, like at a little yoga studio or something. So I want you guys to hold me to all this, although I don't need that because I am so passionate and like fueled up and fired up and ready to do this that, yeah, I don't necessarily need the accountability. But if you want to just like poke every now and then and be like, yo, when is this happening? How's this going? I would love to fill you in on the details. Okay, another thing that I'm stepping into, or this is more of like a concrete intention or goal, is to help as many freaking people as possible through my new program, Confidence Mastery, which is something that I cultivated kind of very similar to Alignment Accelerator. The curriculum is very similar. And what I see in my DMs and comments and emails from you guys, so much so, is that the struggle with confidence and believing in yourself is so real. And this is something that I feel I've overcome pretty darn well in the past 5 or so years since I've been on this self-growth journey. And I just want to help support you with that, with empowering yourself, building unshakable confidence that even when shit hits the fan, you know that you can navigate through life with ease and that you can overcome challenges and obstacles and just believe in yourself and your ability to make your dreams a reality. So I've created this program. It's going to be released to you guys in the upcoming months, and I just honestly want to help as many of you as possible. There's going to be a support group involved as well because everyone needs support when we're going through these journeys. And I have a specific goal of I would love to see 2,000 of you. I know there's, I don't know, maybe watching this video, there will be 100,000 beautiful people, and I would love to see at least 2,000 of you go through my program, Confidence Mastery, and just like give you all my methods that I have been using and applying in my life for the past 5 or so years. So that is that. And next, I have two more things that I'm stepping into. One is learning more. This year for me, guys, I like barely listened to that many audiobooks and just feel like, I don't know, it was such a internal year for me where I was diving inward and learning more about myself, my emotions, all of that, which has been progressive and I have been learning, but I want to start listening to audiobooks again. I want to experience another culture through traveling to a new place. And there are specific things I want to start learning more about: psychology and neuroscience and healing trauma. Those are like the 3 little facets that all kind of pile together that I'm just really interested in learning more about. So I declare that in 2020, I'm going to be absorbing more of that content and information. And the last thing that I'm stepping into is creating more art. I had a realization recently that, well, I've always known this, but I kind of like keep it on the DL, keep it suppressed a little bit, that art lights me up. And when I'm drawing or painting or creating YouTube thumbnails, like there's so many different forms of art that I do in my life, but don't do them, I feel like I need to clear my throat, don't do them as often as I would like to. That stuff lights me up and like really helps me drop into a meditative state where like nothing, I feel like I'm saying like a lot, where nothing else matters and it's just really important to me, and I've let that go a little bit more than I would have liked to. So this year I want to make more art and I want to share my art with you, and I do want to create new apparel. I'm thinking in the summer I would love to launch new apparel. And what else? I have to do this year because it's been a long-term goal of mine. And it is to paint a mural in the town that I live in. Like paint a mural on a big, massive wall. I want to get one of those big ladders and like have all my paint with me and paint a mural. And also, you guys know I love drawing in my little notebooks, like little doodles and abstract art and stuff. I share that on Instagram often. So those are the things that I'm stepping into. And I think that's it. This video is almost 20 minutes long. I just want to wrap this up by again saying thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video and just being a part of my life, being a part of my journey, and allowing me to be a part of your journey. I think it's pretty amazing that we have found each other in this lifetime, and yeah, I'm excited to have more in-person meetups and to potentially meet you in the near future. So I think that's it. I would love to know what you are leaving behind, one thing you're leaving behind in 2019, one thing that you're stepping into in 2020. If you can leave that in the comment section, that would be amazing. Give this video a thumbs up. I always do 2 thumbs ups. Thumbs ups. Oh yeah, I got this new turquoise ring. Anyway, you guys know I love the color mint. Okay, so yeah, hopefully this feels like you've been here chatting with me, because that's all we've been doing. Okay, comment section, thumbs up. Let me know what you're leaving behind, stepping into, and let's make love louder.